ICE lawsuit, new visas, and USCIS speed. Everything just changed. A major immigration shakeup is unfolding across America. From record-fast green card processing to lawsuits challenging ICE, 2025 is becoming a year of rapid, dramatic immigration change. If you're undocumented, waiting on a green card, or living in a state with anti-immigration laws, what just happened affects your rights, your future, and possibly your freedom. Let's break down the biggest legal and policy developments you need to know, starting with the lawsuit shaking the entire enforcement system. Los Angeles takes on ICE in federal court. In a groundbreaking move, the city of Los Angeles has filed a federal lawsuit against U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, accusing the agency of unconstitutional immigration raids on local communities. The lawsuit claims that ICE officers detained people, including undocumented immigrants, legal residents, and even U.S. citizens, based on nothing more than appearance, location, or ethnicity. Los Angeles isn't alone. Several other cities have joined the lawsuit or announced similar legal action, arguing that ICE enforcement has violated basic constitutional rights for years. Class action case seeks nationwide accountability. What makes this case historic is that Los Angeles is pushing for it to be certified as a class action, allowing thousands of people to seek justice in a single lawsuit. The suit cites violations of the Fourth Amendment, which protects against unlawful searches and seizures, and the Fifth Amendment, which guarantees legal counsel when detained. Legal advocates say ICE has been racially profiling Latino residents and arresting people without probable cause, due process, or timely access to attorneys, all clear constitutional breaches. ICE accused of turning raids into mass dragnets. Witness statements and public complaints suggest that ICE raids have swept up the innocent alongside the undocumented, with no accountability or internal oversight to prevent mistakes. In many cases, people with valid immigration status or pending applications were detained simply because they lived or worked in heavily targeted neighborhoods or communities of color. The lawsuit calls for systemic reforms, including training, oversight, and compensation for those wrongfully detained. Advocates say it's long overdue, and cities are finally fighting back. Local officials launch parallel resistance measures. While the case moves through federal courts, local officials in Los Angeles are not waiting. The City Council and County Board of Supervisors are drafting emergency protections for immigrant residents. These include limits on cooperation between local police and ICE, legal assistance funding for immigrants, and ordinances requiring federal compliance with civil rights standards during raids. The message is clear. Los Angeles is not only suing ICE, it's actively trying to make itself a safer place for immigrants by creating legal buffers against federal overreach. New visa in the works for undocumented workers. Amid all this legal tension, the federal government has quietly announced plans for a new temporary non-immigrant visa, unofficially nicknamed the Temporary Pass, aimed at undocumented workers. The visa would offer temporary legal status to individuals working in essential industries, including agriculture, construction, food service, and home care, without granting full permanent residency. Although final policy details are still pending, early drafts suggest this visa could help stabilize the lives of thousands of undocumented workers who have long contributed to the U.S. economy. A practical step amid political deadlock. The proposed visa is being welcomed by labor rights groups and immigrant advocates as a rare moment of pragmatism in an otherwise divided political landscape on immigration. With Congress deadlocked over broader immigration reform, this new program could offer legal protection to essential workers, many of whom remained active during the pandemic and ongoing labor shortages. Employers, too, are quietly supporting the plan, arguing that undocumented labor is already embedded in key industries and deserves basic recognition, protection, and economic integration. USCIS quietly speeds up case processing. In an unexpected development, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services (USCIS) has made major improvements to case processing speeds, particularly for green card and naturalization applications. Immigration attorneys are reporting record-fast appointments, including biometrics, interviews, and adjustment of status approvals, with some cases moving forward within just 2 to 3 weeks. This marks a major turnaround from the past 2 years, where applicants were often left waiting 6 months or more with little transparency and limited access to live support channels. Why you should act now if eligible. Immigration lawyers are urging eligible applicants to file immediately. They warn that this faster processing window may be temporary and it's unclear how long the current pace will hold. Whether you're filing Form I-485 for adjustment of status or submitting an N-400 for naturalization, now may be the best opportunity to move your case forward quickly and efficiently. Even those with pending employment-based applications or family reunification cases are seeing faster movement, and USCIS has confirmed new internal performance targets for staff. Deportation to unsafe countries raises alarms. Outside the U.S., troubling reports are raising new concerns about deportations to countries with poor human rights records, especially El Salvador, where U.S. deportee Portrigo Garcia was recently sent. Garcia was reportedly transferred to a maximum security prison known for housing suspected terrorists, despite having no violent criminal record. His story has reignited fears over deportation policies. Legal scholars warn that returning individuals to countries with inhumane prison conditions or ongoing violence may violate the Eighth Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment. Florida immigration law blocked by Supreme Court. Back in the U.S., another legal showdown is underway, this time in Florida, where a sweeping anti-immigration law championed by Governor Ron DeSantis has been halted by the courts. The law, known as SB 4C, made it a felony for undocumented immigrants to enter Florida and mandated jail time without bond, even for first-time nonviolent offenders. Federal Judge Kathleen Williams ruled the law likely violates the Constitution by interfering with federal immigration authority, and the Supreme Court agreed, keeping the block in place. Legal and political ramifications nationwide. The Supreme Court's refusal to lift the block sends a strong signal: states cannot create independent immigration systems or criminalize federal violations at the state level. The American Civil Liberties Union, which filed a class action against the law, argues that it not only bypasses federal law, but also endangers immigrants with valid legal cases pending review. This ruling could affect similar legislation proposed in Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa, and other states, many of which have tried to criminalize undocumented presence through state-specific penalties. A conflict between state laws and federal power. Florida's law imposed harsh penalties, including mandatory 9-month prison sentences and multi-year terms for repeat reentry. It made no exceptions for asylum seekers or pending visa applicants. The court found that such policies directly conflict with federal immigration authority and violate long-established principles that prohibit states from regulating cross-border movement or federal classifications. Civil rights groups also raised concerns about racial profiling, family separation, and the chilling effect on immigrant communities who may fear seeking healthcare, education, or legal protection. The battle for immigration rights gains momentum. Across courtrooms, legislatures, and local governments, a powerful trend is emerging. A wave of pushback against harsh immigration enforcement and renewed efforts to protect due process. From Los Angeles to Florida, from ICE lawsuits to visa innovations, the message is growing louder. Civil liberties and immigrant protections must be defended, even in politically charged environments. Immigration policy may remain complex and divisive, but 2025 is shaping up to be a year of resistance, reform, and reckoning, and immigrants everywhere should be paying close attention. What do you think? Should states be allowed to enforce their own immigration laws? Do you support the new visa for essential workers? How do you feel about the faster green card approvals? Let us know in the comments. We always read your thoughts. If you found this information useful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more critical updates. See you in the next video. Until then, stay informed, stay safe.